What's up, you guys? Welcome into the live stream. If this is your first time here, I'm Superior Shelby. I'm a 71% successful grant writer. I write grants for startups and small business owners, and I've won millions of dollars in doing that. I've been doing it for 10 years. I'm so blessed to have you on the live stream, and this is my evening live stream. Usually in the fourth quarter of the year, what I do is I commit to 2 live streams a day. One in the morning, so that's usually 9 a.m. Eastern time, and then one in the afternoon, which is 5 p.m. Eastern time. And the reason why I do that is because I want to be able to give everybody a chance to be able to ask me, an experienced entrepreneur and an experienced grant writer and winner, on how to actually win grants. In this live stream, I'm going to teach you all about grants, how to search and apply to them, of course. But I also wanted to go over one $10,000 grant that just came out, and I don't want you guys to miss it. Okay, so for those of you who are usually, my people that join, I want to thank you so much for coming in. Good evening to everybody, and I'm so blessed to have you here. So earlier I had a live stream, right? I usually do my live streams in the morning, but I had my live stream earlier. We had such a good time, okay? And every time I have a live stream, we always have a good time. I am an entrepreneur that's really, first off, if this is your first time seeing me, I have a 10-year-old business, okay? And so my business is a small business development consultancy. So what does that mean? That means that what I do is I help startups and small business owners create an execution strategy that will help them bring in profits. Not only do I do that, but I take out the hard work of searching and applying to grants, and I write the grants for you. And I also write business plans and pitch decks for you. So in this conversation, we're going to dive deeper into some strategies as well. I love an interactive chat, so make sure you like the live stream as you're coming in and ask any business development question you have and any question about grants. I'm here for you. This is free information. Now, in the fourth quarter of the year, like I said earlier in this live stream, I'm usually doing 2 lives a day. So I do one at 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. because I want you guys to have a chance at, kickstarting your next year on a grant fund, right? A grant and some free money that you deserve. So I'm so blessed to have you here. Before I get into what a grant is and all that good stuff, I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. So thank you so much, Golden Formula, for being here. Good evening. Thank you so much, Tamala, for being here all the way from Connecticut. Thank you so much for joining. So if you guys don't know, I have been traveling the world. I have not lived in the United States in over 3 years, and I've been able to gain grant money to travel the world and teach other startups and small business owners and solutions, nonprofits, churches, and schools, and teach them about grants and also write grants for them. I've won millions of dollars in grants, okay? And I'm a 71% successful grant writer. Before I get into grants, let me explain to you what that 71% successful grant writing rate means. That means out of 1,000 clients that I get in a year, 71% of those clients actually receive a $10,000 grant, at least, or more, that I apply to for them. So that means I know all of the grant questions and exactly how to answer them properly to increase your chances of approvals. Friend, I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I'm here to tell you that you as a startup or you as a seasoned small business owner or nonprofit truly do deserve to go for free money, and you deserve to win it. See, 80% of startups actually don't go for grant funding because, one, they might not know about this type of funding, or two, they know about the funding, they know about grants, but they simply are not confident in being able to answer those questions. And three, you don't have the time to submit grant applications. But that's where my company comes into play. I have a 10-year team, a 10-year entrepreneurship, a 10-person team that can actually help you all with searching and applying to those grants for you. All right. So if that's something that you are interested in, you can always text the word #grants to my number. It's 855-731-1487. We can have a one-on-one consultation. It's $50. So worth it, a 45-minute Zoom call. And I will sit with you on Zoom. I will search for grants for you, and I'll give you a full grant writing game plan that will help you change your entire business funding journey. Okay. All right. But to reassure you, in this live stream, I'm going to teach you what a grant is. I'm going to teach you where you can get these grants from. I'm also going to tell you how to be properly prepared for these grants, okay? So make sure you share the live stream, like the live stream as you're coming in, and we're going to get down to it. And I'm also going to go over a $10,000 grant. I'm actually going to go over 2 grants for you that you can actually apply to today if you qualify, all right? So I got into grants, right, friend, simply because I was a person during COVID that went through so much debt, business debt in my business, okay? And even before then, you're looking at a person that went for one of those small business loans that you see all these people saying, oh, you can get $100,000, $200,000, or whatever without having to check your credit and all this good stuff. Well, I'm that person that had to pay back a $200,000 SBA loan, and it's not fun. Imagine being like having so much pressure on yourself, and you have to pay back like $100,000 or $75,000 or whatever the case may be, but your business is not generating revenue yet, or you don't have clarity on exactly how to spend that money that you receive, and you might kind of mess it up and fumble the bag. It's okay, friend. I understand. Well, that's where grants come in. Grants is the best funding opportunity that you can actually go for as a startup and a small business owner. Big tech companies go for grant funding, okay? Even companies like Apple, Google, Sephora, they actually all give out grants that you can use as a startup without having to generate any revenue. And you can use this money to be able to start your company and also invest in the proper places so that way you can start generating revenue and create generational wealth and explore financial freedom and provide a service for people or a product, right? So you must be mission driven, all right? So that's that. Now, with grants, if you Google what a small business grant is, a grant is a reward that you can get, usually in the form of money. And you can receive it from like a place from Amazon, Google, Apple, and also you can get a grant from your state and local governments and a private investor, private sector, or a nonprofit that helps startups and small business owners. So you might have seen some people talk about, oh, you can get this grant from Hello Skip, or you can get a grant from Hello Alice, or you can get a grant from I Fund Women, or you can get a grant from Google, Sephora, right? Right now, Sephora is giving out a $100,000 grant to anybody who has like a hair or beauty product, right? So if you have hair shampoos and body skincare lotions and stuff like that, if you sell that, they're giving out $100,000 for that. Now, I want to reassure you, okay? There's millions of dollars on the table for you as a startup, but it's very important that you are properly and professionally prepared. So I'm going to go into exactly what you need to have before you go for grants, okay? This is all free game, and I want you to know exactly how to go for this funding. If this is your first time seeing me, matter of fact, I will also show you here on this live stream. One of my clients just today won a $100,000 opportunity, okay? And I'm going to show you the email. It came in today, and I'm super excited. This is not my first rodeo, 10 years of doing this. I've won millions of dollars in this grant world. So it's very important you know that there's free money that you can get to be able to help you with starting your business, okay? Now, you know what a grant is, free money that you can get, right, from a business entity, a private sector, or you can get it from like a state and local government. Now, you also need to know what are they looking for in the grant applications, okay? Now, majority of these grant applications, okay, because I get this frequently asked question, Shelby, how do I actually submit the application? How do I apply to grants? Let me explain to you the entire flow of how it works. And then I'll also explain to you what they're looking for or generally asking for on these questions, on these applications, okay? All right, so drop your questions in the chat because I love an interactive chat, and make sure you are liking the live stream as you're coming in. Like the live stream so that way the YouTube algorithm can push it out to other entrepreneurs. Okay, friend? All right, so your grant writing flow. So you would usually go to a website like Hello Skip. All right, so HelloSkip.com. It's an app you can download, and it has usually about 30 grants every month that you can apply to. Now, if this is your first time going for grant applications, Hello Skip, I definitely recommend, okay? It's really easy to comprehend. So HelloSkip.com, you can use my invite code Superior Shelby, or you can also click the link in my description below and go directly to that app and sign up, okay? Now, you can go to Hello Skip, you'll find a grant, and usually what you do is you answer a series of questions. Usually, it's about 10 or more questions. You do have some grant applications that are like less than 5 questions or so, okay? And lately, in the fourth quarter, a lot of these grant applications, they've been asking like direct questions like, what would you do with the money? So let me tell you exactly what these grant applications are asking for. Then we're going to go into, you know, the $10,000 grant and stuff like that, okay? I'm getting there. I just want to educate you, friend, okay? All right, so These grant applications ask questions like what is your product and service? What is the problem that your clients have? How is your product and service the solution to that? What would you do with the grant money? Okay. Some of you all are having conversations with your friends, family, your spouse, your coworkers, and you're like, dang, if I just had $100,000, girl, I will open up my own deli shop. I will open up my own food truck. I will do my own hair salon. I will do all of this stuff. That same exact energy that you can have having that conversation on your 9 to 5 on your break time, or having that conversation of your dreams and goals with your spouse and saying that you want to do it, well, it's actually time for you to execute. And the more you keep saying you want to do it, but you don't execute on it, friend, the longer you are making us wait to have a solution to our problems. The longer you are having your family wait, or you generating revenue for your entire generation and changing that entire financial situation that you're going through. So it's time for you to actually execute. Okay. So you need to have an idea of exactly what you would do with whatever amount of money. See, I have consultations with over 6 people every day, and they're startups. Some of them have generated revenue, let's say up to $10,000. Some of them don't even have an LLC. And the conversations that we're having is like, well, Shelby, I have this idea. I thought about this. I've always wanted to do this since COVID. But when COVID happened, I wasn't able to invest. And then life happened. And then one of my family members died. I got into a car accident. Something happened. Life lifed. I'm going to tell you something about being an entrepreneur because I've been doing this for almost 11 years. When we're talking about entrepreneurship, the E in entrepreneurship stands for execution. I have went through 3 deaths all at the same time, from my grandma, my auntie, and I also lost my own baby. All in the same 30 days. Guess what? I still showed up on YouTube. I still had to write grants for my clients. I still had to submit, write business plans. I still had to commit to those like one-on-one consultations. It's all about having perseverance, and it's all about still going forward. If you are a believer like me, right? Because I'm a Christian. So if you're a believer like me, I'm telling you something right now. Every time you want to elevate or go to that next level or jump into that new era, right? More finances, better health, good wealth, look good, have that lifestyle that you've already dreamed of. When it's time for you to go through that door of opportunity, it takes more prayer than profits. So either way, you have to execute spiritually, execute physically, and also be willing to spend this money being able to spend the money so you can make the money. You understand? Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you from experience. And I wish I had someone like myself who was going to be real with me and who was going to be very direct and say, hey, look, you got to be serious about this. No more telling your friends that I want to do this. It's actually time for you to execute, because we're actually moving forward in life. Life is actually moving forward, right? And there's going to come a time where you might physically can't do this, right? Or financially, you're not going to be able to. And for all of my people that is back in the US, things are economically getting more challenging every day. Eggs are not going to go down. The gas prices are not going to go down. The housing market prices are not going to go down. It's actually going to continue to shoot up. Historically and statistically proven. So with that being said, because we know that, we're not going to complain about it. Life will always life. But what I need for you is to get serious, get focused, and let's start executing. The E in entrepreneurship stands for execution. So with all of that being said, it's very vital, very important that in your beginning phases, when you are thinking about how you want your food truck to look, how you want your beauty salon to look, how you want your assisted living facility to look, how you want your nonprofit mission to be delivered. When you are thinking about those things, friend, I also need for you to think about, what are the supplies and equipment that I need to provide my mission, to provide my product and service? How much will it cost for me to be able to have that? How much does it cost for me to have my team? How much does it? You have to think about numbers. Business is numbers. Even nonprofits, for my nonprofits out there, is numbers. Okay? So by me saying that it takes numbers, the main key things, the three things that you need to have before you go for grants, the three things that is really simple. Every startup should have this. This is actually before you go for any funding. Loans, lines of credit, credit cards, grants, accelerator programs, pitch competitions, whatever. Okay? You need to have a business plan, a pitch deck, and a 3-minute pitch video. I'm dropping straight gems right now. In 2025, the $100,000 grant that I just won my client today, and I'm going to show you the email because I don't do all that talking. I've been doing this for 10 years. Okay. So that grant that I helped my client win today, we submitted the grant application, which was over 30 questions. We submitted this grant application 3 months ago. We are just now receiving the approval. $100,000 for free, no strings attached. We also had to submit a pitch deck. We also had to submit a business plan. We also had to submit a 3-minute pitch video. So if you are serious and you're tired of leaving money on the table for your startup and you're ready to have the money that you actually deserve to be able to start your business or scale the business that you already have, so you don't have to keep like drowning yourself in business debt, why not go for grant funding? You're not losing out on anything. A business plan, a pitch deck, and a 3-minute pitch video. Before I go into what those things are, because I know some of you guys are startups, so I'll explain to you exactly what it is. It's important for you to know, okay? All of this is important. That having those three things also is, you must have, like, in addition to that, your foundational stuff together. All right. Thank you, Crystal, for the heart. I really appreciate it. Foundational stuff. Foundational stuff, friend, means having your business registered as an LLC or INC or S Corp or C Corp, whatever you're going to do. Or if you're a nonprofit, having your 501c3 tax exempt IRS form, having your business bank account, having a website, having a social media. Yeah, that's the foundations. If you do not know what the foundations are, friend, I offer a $50 consultation, just $50. Literally, you can save $25 today and $25 tomorrow. Okay? It's $50, one-on-one consultation, and I would love for us to have a conversation about what your startup foundations, what you need to do. And also, I'll sit with you and I'll find grants for you and I'll give you the full game plan. You can text the number text the word grants to my number. My number is in the chat, 855-731-1487. Or you can visit my website, superchargemybusiness.com. I'm a serious business owner. I know I'm using social media. I have had this YouTube page for 6 years dedicated to teaching you guys about grants. Okay, so it's important. If you're just now meeting me, I've been doing this for like about 6 years, going on 7, for free. Business plan, pitch deck, and 90-second pitch video. Okay. Now, the business plan, it's very important that you understand that the business plan is not just paperwork. And I understand that a lot of you guys are like, oh, okay, you don't think a business plan is a serious thing that you need to have at the beginning phases of your business, or even as a seasoned business owner, even if you are 5 years in and you've already started generating revenue. I understand why you might feel like you don't need one. To be honest with you, and to give you guys grace, in public school, we didn't learn this stuff. You're not going to learn entrepreneurship in public school. If you went to charter school or private school, yeah, you know what I mean? But in public school, which majority of Americans went to public school, right? They're not going to teach you this stuff because they don't want you to be an entrepreneur. They want you to be the worker bee, not the queen bee, not the king bee. You understand? So with that being said, the business plan serves as the professional document that will show exactly what your product and service is. So what your company is about, what is your vision, what's your mission, and also, like, what does it take for you to run your company, and what are your company goals? Goals. 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 How much money do you want to make within the first year of you operating your business? How are you actually going to make that and reach that goal? So if you say, I want to make $100,000 in the first year, well, how are you going to do that? So what's your marketing strategy? All of those things need to be in your business plan. Your business plan is very very vital because there are some investors, grantors, and other key people that want to give you money, but they need to see that you're serious. The business plan is that professional document that shows that you're serious. In addition to your foundations, your business registry, your LLC, your business bank account, your social media channels, your website, your logo. You'll be surprised. I understand some of you guys have actually had an LLC since 2020, but you only did the LLC because you wanted to get the free $10,000 grant from SBA, or you just simply wanted to get the SBA loan. I'm a truth teller. Welcome to the chat. But I understand you thought it was easy, right? And I get it because they presented it to you like it was just all easy. But no, this is serious business. You can't play with that. Okay? So, with us understanding that some of you guys have had an LLC for a while and it's just been collecting dust, well, friend, let's not allow it to continue to collect dust. For those of you who have already had your LLCs and you're generating revenue, I just want to say shout out to you. And grant funding is the perfect funding for you to be able to have that extra money to hire more people and to have more supplies and equipment or whatever the case may be. Okay. So, pitch deck. A pitch deck is a PowerPoint presentation of your business plan. Okay. So all of the key factors that's in your business plan, you need to have in a PowerPoint presentation. A 3-minute pitch video is essentially that content piece, is that video piece, is that visual, aesthetic. And you get to actually see on video what your product is and what it does and how it solves a problem and all that stuff. And also exactly what your company would do if you had an opportunity to be able to reach your funding goal, right? And then you give your contact information, all that good stuff. So that's like a full video. All right. So that's how that works. That's how that works. Now, chat, do I have any questions about what we went over? We went over what a grant is, which is free money, no credit checks, no strings attached, no repayments, no paybacks, no none of that stuff, right? We also went over what you need to have before you go for grants, which is a business plan, a pitch deck, and a 3-minute pitch video. Thank you, Fearless Ambition, for putting that in the chat, okay? We also went over the importance of you actually executing. I told you a quick something you can always remind yourself. Superior Shelby said the E in entrepreneurship means execution, so it's time for me to actually execute. We are in the fourth quarter of 2025, and can I be honest with y'all? I have had hundreds of consultations this year. I'll just throw a number out there because I don't have that exact number. I don't usually check that until like the beginning of next year. But let's say I've had almost 600, close to that, right? Consultations, right? These $50 consultations. And like a good 70, no, like 80%, a good 80% out of that are people who want to start a business. They have an LLC. They open up a business bank account, but they have not generated revenue. I want to know, what is that? I've even had out of that 80%, people that have gotten business loans, and now they're in a situation where they have to pay back $50,000, or you know what I mean, $30,000 or $100,000 because they use their personal credit or whatever the case may be. So I want to know, if you are that person that has went through that, why did you go for loans? And did you invest correctly? So you can definitely drop that in chat. If you don't want to have that conversation in the chat, it's fine. You know, this is actually a safe space. This is a business conversation. I'm not a lifestyle creator. So everything that we share here, your answers and your questions is most likely a question somebody else has. And your answer is most likely something, a situation or an experience that someone else has experienced as well. All right. So don't be afraid. This is a safe space. You can be vulnerable here. All right. I'm not judgmental at all. I'm very graceful and I totally understand. All right. So, the reason why I don't talk about loans and why I like grants is because grants is free money, no strings attached, no credit checks, no personal information needed. Like you don't have to provide none of that stuff. And also, it's like free money that you can get. You're not, you're not, I don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm wasting my time because I have to search for the grant and I have to submit the application and I don't even know how to answer the questions or whatever. That's why you have people like myself that are grant writers and a team of grant writers, right? That will actually perform those services for you. You hire a grant writer for our creative writing skills and also to be able to save you time and the efforts of searching and applying to the grants. You don't hire a grant writer to win a grant. That's not how it works. We're saving you time and we have the creative writing skills to make your business sound as professional and proactive and productive as possible for these grant applications to increase your chances of approvals. The approval of getting a grant, the approval of the grant is solely up to the grant people that are giving out the money. Okay? I want to make sure I specify that. On average, a grant writer costs about $900 to apply to 3 grants. Me, I'm much more affordable than that. Okay. With my expertise and experience, I'm much more affordable than that. So if that's something you're interested in, you can always book a $50 consultation where on Zoom, I'll sit with you 45 minutes. I'll search for grants for you and I'll give you the whole game plan. Okay. So text #grants to my number is in the chat 855-731-1487. Okay. Now, people have the idea of believing that grants, when they submit a grant application, that they're actually wasting their time. Let me explain to you how you're not wasting your time. Grants is also not all about like going for the money. You can actually get approved for a grant and it doesn't have any money as a reward, but it comes with credits, deals, and perks, and also mentorship. You can actually get approved to a grant, not a grant. Let's say you get approved to a $100,000, and this has happened to my clients. Let's say you get approved to a $100,000 loan. You have all of these big dreams and goals for your nonprofit or your for-profit business, right? And you are like, okay, if I just had $100,000, $100,000, $100,000, and before you know, you got the $100,000 through a loan, and now you don't even know how to invest in it correctly, which means you have blown the money. 50,000 of that you actually spent on your own personal debts that you had to pay off. The other 50,000, you actually bought supplies and equipment, but you forgot that you had to hire a team. You forgot about the regulatory fees and the licenses that you have to do for your state to be able to operate. So now you are noticing that for you feel like the $100,000 wasn't enough. So now you want to go and put your social security number through that whole entire funding ring all over again just to try to get an extra $10,000. This is very common right now. Why put yourself through all that stress? Because now you owe about $60,000 and you didn't invest correctly. You want to know what the main problem was with that? You didn't get mentorship. Grants can come not only with $100,000, but it will come with a 6 to 12-week training and mentorship that will teach you and help you develop the funding execution strategy that will help you organize exactly where you need to spend money, how much it's going to cost, so that way you can invest correctly and you can actually be able to scale, start generating profits. If you go for a loan, you're simply starting your business out in debt. Also, you don't have that person that's already making millions of dollars in your industry to tell you, don't do this, don't do that, do it like this, do it like that. In addition to that, if you go for a grant, even whether you win the money or not, there are some grants where they actually give you up to millions of dollars in like marketing ad revenue credits. So for those of you out there that's like, oh, I want $100,000 because we want to invest like, $15,000 or $20,000 or $50,000 into our marketing strategy. Imagine being able to get approved to a grant that they will give you $1 million in Google ad credits and Facebook ad credits and Instagram ad credits and Amazon credit and all of this other credit that you can get up to $1 million in perks and deals. So even if they gave you $100,000, the mentorship, and also up to $1 million in those perks and deals, imagine that. You got $100,000 for free. You don't even have to spend that $100,000 in your marketing strategy because they're giving you up to millions of dollars in in like $1 million in like Google ad credits and all that stuff for your marketing strategy, which means you can use this $100,000 to hire a team for skill development. So to be able to provide them with expert training, and also to be able to invest into your supplies and equipment so you can deliver a quality product and service. Yeah, this is real business. This is not surface level thinking. And I want to educate you guys. That's what I'm doing here now. And I want you guys to start thinking deeper. Okay? You're not wasting your time when you're going for grants. And if you have that mindset, I'm sorry, I'm not your target, person, right? I'm not going to continue to try to convince you. You're going to make your own decisions. You're an adult. But I'm here to tell you that don't sleep on the grants. I've literally seen business lives change, right? Businesses that were on the verge of failing, juicing companies, gyms, like workout gyms, right? Yoga studios, even like nonprofits that help persons with disabilities and single families. I've seen them actually go into debt, and I've helped them get a grant, and they are scaling. So that's it. That's all the convincing I'm gonna be doing. Okay. Any questions? I see you guys are writing something in the chat, so let me just like address you guys really quick, and then we are gonna go into these two grants that I want you guys to know about. So it's funny because I was about to apply for a loan. That's what Tyla or Tia. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but that's what she said. Thanks so much for being in the chat, friend. And it's cool. Like, I know that as soon as you put on your cell phone, let's say business loans, Aaliyah with a T. Oh, okay, Talia. Oh, that's so cute. I like the way that you actually spell it. So imagine you put in your phone, or you're just like scrolling through Instagram, and you see somebody like Princess Dior or somebody like that has like a lot of following, right? And they're like, oh, I can get you business funding without running your credit, and I can get you like $50,000. Or you might see like they do this like whole entire Instagram post, and it's like behind them it's $100,000. It looks very like good. The advertising looks good, right? That's the whole point. And what they're doing is they want you to join their boot camp for free, or you to get their checklist for free. And then when you get the checklist, you get the boot camp, and you go through that whole entire process. Well, guess what else you got to do? You also got to gain their services for them to be able to find the loans for you. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to actually physically doing the loan process and going for it, well, you still will have to pay that person that you signed up for that free boot camp that they market to you. And now you had a consultation with them. You still got to pay them 10%, 15%, or 20% out of whatever they give you. And that's if you get approved. That's the whole entire funding process. And I don't like that it's being marketed so much to Black-owned companies, simply because we're already a class of people that we are like the lowest earning people, like respectfully. And it's like we're also the ones that are marketed to the most, because we're also the class or the ethnic group that spends the most money too. And I don't like that. That's why I like talking about grants. And I know it's really interesting because if as soon as you see one of those ads, or you see like a lifestyle creator that does those things, and you're like, you're going to see so many more of them. That's why I push my information out as much as I possibly can to let you know that there's free money that you can go for, that you don't have to put your business in debt, and even yourself in debt. And you can start your business out with a $10,000 grant or a $100,000 grant, and you don't have to worry about any strings attached. You don't have to worry about paying it back. Okay. There's grants for so many different reasons. There's grants for being a woman entrepreneur, grants for that are very targeted to what type of business that you're starting. And there's also grants for, all types of different reasons. Okay. So yeah. I'm very appreciative of your honesty. Thank you, Tamala. Yes. I'm very honest. I'm a Christian girl, so I'll be trying. I want to be very direct, and I'm hoping that you're understanding or comprehending what's going on or what I'm saying. Shavana says, I've done that personally, but I was tempted to. Reason, because it's what I knew, needing to take care of the day-to-day while supporting a dream and start to drown. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for being vulnerable with us in the chat. And I'm happy that you said that, because it's quite a common thing. I mean, 80% of all of like over 600 of my consultations that I've had in 2025 have been people that have actually got a loan, started their business out in debt, or they've had their business that has been generating, let's say, $5,000 to $10,000 a month, but you guys are looking to scale, and that $5,000 to $10,000 is not enough because you have payroll costs and you have so many other business costs. So I totally understand, but don't sleep on the grant funding. Grants is supposed to be that extra safety net and extra stream of income that you're supposed to have. Now, while there's no 100% guarantee that you will win a grant, simply because you're competing for a free money, just like everybody else aggressively needs funding too, like how you do. But that's where having the business plan, pitch deck, and a 3-minute pitch video set you apart from other people and allows you to be professionally prepared. And if you are not confident in answering these grant questions, you can hire a grant writer, you can hire myself, or you can use the business plan as an answer key to help you answer those grant applications. So use helloskip.com, or you can visit grantwatch.com. Somebody put that in the chat. Hello Skip, so that's helloskip.com or grantwatch.com. And you can use those search engines. Now, you can always have a one-on-one consultation with me. It's just $50. It's a 45-minute Zoom call. But I can sit with you on the Zoom call. We can strategize together on what's working, what's not working. I can help you develop that strategy, that execution strategy, that strategy that is actually going to help you generate profits and scale. And then also, we can talk about, search for grants together, and I can give you the whole game plan. All right. So you can text #grants to my number. It's there in the chat for you, 855-731-1487. Thank you so much. So what else do we have in here? Joseph says, thanks so much, Joseph, for being here with me. Shelby, do you write grants for nonprofits or only for profit? Nonprofits too. All right. And it's the same thing for nonprofits. You guys, I'm happy that you asked that. Earlier this morning, I had a conversation with nonprofits. And I'm going to bring this to you guys too, because I want you to have an understanding of that. I write grants for nonprofits. Actually, nonprofits have a lot of grants available, right? A lot. Sometimes I even feel like you guys have more grants available than us on the for-profit side, but I get it. So I want to say this. I've had a conversation. My most recent nonprofit consultation was actually yesterday. And yesterday, like around 4 p.m. Eastern time, you guys' time. And this guy, he has such a great mission, man. He helps families, he helps the youth, he helps so many people. He has a nonprofit. He's African, and him and his wife have been using their profit, their incomes, but they live in Texas. They've been using their money, their income or whatever from their jobs and stuff to be able to fund their nonprofit mission. Here's the thing. I noticed that this year that the nonprofits that have been coming to me to write grants for them, I think you guys have not thought about another strategy on how to bring in, some revenue, some money. While I understand you guys are using your own money to for your nonprofit's mission, but did you know that for nonprofits, you are actually supposed to gain donations and sponsorships? That is actually the nonprofit way. That's the professional nonprofit way. And how you would do that is you would generate and create your own project plans for each of the projects that you decide that you want to do for that year. So let's say 4 quarters in a year, each quarter or 2 quarters out of 4, you actually might want to do like some sort of, let's say the 3rd quarter back to school, 4th quarter, you want to do like a Christmas toy drive or Thanksgiving turkey giveaway. Well, if you're doing 2 out of the 4 or doing something every quarter, you need to have a project plan for each of those projects that you're going to be doing that is going to fulfill your nonprofit mission. The reason why is because you're going to use that project plan to go for those nonprofit grants. In addition to that, what you need to do is also you need to start having these types of luncheons or dinners and stuff like that. And you're supposed to bring these people that make good, like at least 6 figures or more that live in your area. And they're supposed to be coming, like meeting you at a local mom and pop restaurant, and you're supposed to be pitching to them what your business mission is. And you're supposed to be getting people to sign checks or sell you like whatever, send you money before they leave that place. That's fundraising. That is actually the professional way nonprofits are supposed to be making money. I understand if you use your own income to kickstart everything, you do the 501c3, you do the whole setup, you do the website. I get it. If you have spent like $1,000, $2,000 to start it, cool, that makes sense. But man, if we are talking about you are spending more than $2,000 with starting it, when are we actually going to get serious and we're going to have an actual strategy, a marketing strategy that is going to be able to, we can send out some ads and do all this different stuff, right, through social media and show people about what your actual nonprofit mission is, build an email list, market to them and give them education about what your mission is, tell those people about how you want to do your Thanksgiving turkey drive or Christmas toy drive, and actually have a link there in the emails that you're sending to them and reach out to them and actually do sales like calls. You got to call these people. Having a nonprofit is work. Having a for-profit is work. It all takes execution. Choose your hard. But as a nonprofit, I don't understand exactly why you guys are not taking that actual serious route of building your marketing strategy, your email list, reaching out to those people, and actually like sitting down, having dinners, having lunches, because it's all networking. Let me tell you something. The American Heart Association and the Breast Cancer Awareness Fund, do you know that they have a big, it costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not $1 million, dinner. Everybody who was in that dinner that the American Heart Association probably hosted, and let's say at your local, it can be like your local mom and pop restaurant. It's really nice, really fancy. You know what I mean? And everybody dresses up in their gowns and stuff because everybody in there is big money. And what you do is you have representatives from the American Heart Association that go to each table and they're like, hey, nice to see you, John. Nice to see you, Mary. How is everything going? And they're being like super extra nice. But what they're trying to get them to do is to sign a check. And I mean a check of at least $10,000. If I got 100 people in here and everybody paid $10,000, we made money. That's serious business that nonprofits are supposed to be doing. You guys are not supposed to be using your income as a nonprofit to fulfill the mission. No, you're supposed to create awareness about what your entire mission is and get other people who are interested in donating, receive those donations. When you receive those donations through whatever crowdfunding site you're using, I don't care too much for GoFundMe, but whatever you're using, right? You need to be able to keep track of that traction. How many people actually donated $1? If you got 10,000 people that donated $1 in 1 year, wow, you made $10,000. That means 10,000, and it's not even about the money. That means 10,000 people are actually interested in continuing to donate, or they're interested. They are interested in what your mission is. They support your mission. So being able to show that, hey, we got 10,000 people to donate $1. We made $10,000 off of these people, but 10,000 people actually like our mission. They support what we do. That is enough to have a conversation with a millionaire to say, hey, give me $10,000. Help these little kids out back to school. You know what I mean? So book a one-on-one consultation with me. It's only $50, but we need to dive deeper about that strategy on why you nonprofits, like why you guys are actually not creating a strategy. And I understand some of you guys actually you have not developed a team. A lot of you guys have the nonprofits. You did the 501c3. That's about it. You probably did the website. You probably opened up social media, but you didn't think about like, I need an actual representative. I need to hire a representative that knows how to go for these type of like market to these people and that has connections with these type of people. You can't play small in this nonprofit world. Because the longer you keep playing small, the longer people are going to keep thinking that you're not serious. Get serious, okay? So I just wanted to let you know that I'm sorry that was a long rant, but that was for my nonprofits. You guys, like, yes, you have a lot of grants that you can go for, but you also need to show traction. You need to show seriousness. You need to show that like people actually support your mission as a nonprofit. People actually support your mission as a for-profit business. And how do you do that? Showing traction. It's not always about revenue. Sometimes you can actually develop an email list, and having that email list is just enough to show that people are actually interested in your product and service or your nonprofit mission. Did you create an Instagram account, tell people to inbox you or comment down below whatever action word you're going to do, so that way your Instagram can automatically send them a link and then they can put their email in and then you can market to these people? Come on, like, let's get serious. I'm going to tell you this. Here's another thing that you can take with you. Another key advice you can take with you in business. In business, this is for my for-profit people. You don't sell the product or service. That's not what you're selling. You're actually selling results. Always carry that with you. You're selling results. You know why people actually gain my services and I get over 1,000 clients in a year? Simply because I'm a 71% successful grant writer. I sell results. I'm about to show you within the next like 2 minutes or so a $100,000 grant. I just won my client today. You understand? I sell results. So I'm a serious, like, and I'm only targeting people who are serious, nonprofit or for profit. Okay. All right, cool. So sorry, that was a long rant, but I just wanted you guys to really get it. So Joseph, I hope you get it, right? Thanks so much for being here. Joseph says, you're so right. I have had my 501c3 for 10 years. 10 years and you haven't made $1 million. Man. Like, I hope you made $1 million. I don't know your business or whatever, but I hope you did. Within that 10 years. Let's see. What else do we have here? Who else do we have? I'm responding to you guys in the chat. Savannah says, you'd also want to keep a clean record of the use of grant funds. How does that support your reputation in the future, if at all? So I think what you're asking is, I don't know what you mean by a clean record. Grants don't do background checks. They don't check your credit. They're not going through your business credit. They're also not checking your banking relationships. They're not going to go to the BBB and see if anything like that. What they do is they ask you probing questions on an application to determine like if you are the perfect candidate for them. The grantors simply want to give out the money because they want to give out the money. You understand? So they're only going to give the money out to candidates that are serious. And how they determine that you are the perfect fit is that your answers are aligned with their mission, and also that your answers can show traction and a need for the grant. Okay. So how does it support your reputation in the future, if at all? So getting a grant is like also going to show that there are big companies that support your vision. So imagine you being a beauty person, right? A beauty, like you create, makeup or whatever, or eyeshadow palettes, whatever you're doing in hair care and beauty, and you actually win the $100,000 Sephora grant. Well, you can actually post that online and say, hey, Sephora supports us because they gave us a $100,000 grant, and we're using that grant to be able to invest into developing a more quality product, and also to give back to you guys by doing like a 30% off bundle sale to celebrate. So by you winning that grant, especially from a company like Apple, Google, DoorDash, or whatever the case may be, you can always post that online, and that's actually going to make you look more credible. Hey, right, friend? So I hope I answered your question, Shavana. I'm guessing that's what you meant. Hey Donald, thanks so much for being in the chat. Nothing's free. The only person that should be compensated is let's see. We are a challenge. She is the inspiration to you. Free money, not to give up. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Let's see, everybody. Grind to get the business plan is key. Yes, the business plan is key. Okay, so Amber O, thanks so much for being in the chat, Amber O. Amber O says, can AI be used to search for grants too? So no, it's not. So if you try to use ChatGPT to find grants, or if you put in the prompt, find grants for me in ChatGPT, if you put in there, find grants for my food truck business that's based out of Dallas, Texas, for a Black-owned company, and I'm a woman, right? it's not going to bring you all the opportunities that you can go for. It's not, ChatGPT is not to be used in that way. Not as like a official search engine. No, there is also, you can't even Google that and put that in Google. So that's why I gave you guys Hello Skip or grantwatch.com. Grantwatch.com. You might want to write this down, Amber. Grantwatch.com is the actual grant search engine that you will use to find those grants. So you will put in the filters that you're a Black woman, or whatever the case may be, whatever type of business that you have. And you would also put in there like what your city and state you're from, and it's going to narrow down to the like hundreds of grants that you can apply to. So grantwatch.com, it's not free. It's like $20 a week or $50 a month, being completely transparent with you. But if that's something, if you want to kickstart your grant writing journey, it's a really great tool to use. And I offer one-on-one consultations. I'll sit with you. I'll search for grants with you. And I'll also give you a full grant writing game plan. And I'll also tell you how my service is, right? How I can help you out. Okay. So you do have that option. It's just a $50 consultation. You can text grants to my number, 855-731-1487. Okay. Joseph says, sounds like me. I am putting up my own money for payroll and everything. Yeah, no, you shouldn't be doing that. Much love. Hey, Dennis. Thanks so much for being here. I know, right? It's late night. Dennis is usually with me in the morning. This is really great info for nonprofits. Thank you. I really do appreciate it, Amber. Thank you so much. Tamala says, this is exactly what I need. Yes. Amen. Okay. You're so right. I have had my 501c3, for 10 years. I think it's AI. Is it AI Kada? Okay. So I think you just dropped your, I don't know if that's for Instagram, so you gotta let us know if that's for Instagram. Mark says, what about grants with federal government contracting? So it's not, it doesn't work like that, right? So you have federal government contracting, and then you have grants. Like they're two totally different things. So yeah. So yes, I did not make nowhere near $1 million. My nonprofit is a feeding organization. Yeah, definitely. So you should be getting donations. That's crazy. So yeah. Talia says, how do you go about applying for grants as a business in the field that seems very oversaturated? Because I've had my business for 5 years active, but done nothing out of fear of denial. So that's where a consultation comes. I can help you get through that mindset. I would love to have like a one-on-one Zoom call with you, no lie. Fear of the unknown is to be expected when you're starting to do something new that you're not used to doing, especially like starting a business. But if you don't start the business and if you don't execute, then you won't be able to really reap the fruitfulness and the benefits of it. So it's literally a thing of you have to just go through it. And experience is the best teacher when we're talking about building the business, right? You don't know what that's like for you. You've probably had this LLC for like 5 years, but it's been just like not really generating anything, right? But also the reason why you have fear, and the reason why most of my clients have fear, and even myself, right? Because I was a startup at one point in time. The reason why most of us have fear at the beginning phases and stages of us starting a business or even a nonprofit is simply because we are not confident in the steps that we need to be taking. And you don't have that reassurance. So if you say like, oh, I need to purchase this supply so I can create this for my eyelash company or whatever the case may be, but then you're like, but should I? Right? And you're starting to second guess yourself because you're like, if I spend this money, then how long will it take me? And then I'm spending so much money that I don't even know when I'm going to start receiving the money that I done bought these eyelashes from China and I'm trying to sell the eyelash. Friend, that is where organization comes into play. That is where having a solid execution strategy and a business plan come into play. Because if you map everything out and also the fear with that comes like you don't know how much money you need to spend. All of fear in the beginning phases of starting a business in a nonprofit, all of that comes from not being educated because it's literally called fear of the unknown. The unknown part is You don't know what you doing. It's okay. It's a-okay. But that is where quality mentorship comes into play. That is why you and I need to have a consultation. That is why you need to have a business mentor that is going to walk you through, hold your hand and say, okay, come on, let's do this. Because you can do it. And also someone that you can actually confide in. You can be vulnerable enough to explain and be vulnerable enough with the mindset that you have now, and someone who's going to have grace enough to break things down in the most simplest form so you can understand exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Because there's a lot of business coaches out here that use high key vocabulary words that will tell you to do this, tell you to go to this site, tell you to do these things, but they're not going to show you. And also, it can be confusing, and then you'll forget everything that you learned. I get it. So, book the $50 consultation. Let's sit down. Let me help you get through that fear, okay? So that way you can start driving in profits. Maybe you need that execution strategy that's going to help you make money tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because 5 years of having an LLC, and you're just kind of like holding yourself back. And 5 years of holding yourself back, that's not fair to yourself. That's not fair to your family. That's not fair to us as consumers that actually want to shop your product or service. Okay. So think of it from that point. Hey, Greg Cole, thanks so much for being here. Philip says, wow, you're very beautiful. Thank you so much. Yes, I have and done so. Awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah. All right. So I want to show you guys some stuff before we wrap this thing on up. I want to show you that I just won my client 100K. This is so awesome. Well, he got a really great email, so I'm going to show you guys. And I'm going to also show you these two grants that I want you to know about. All right. One is a $5,000 one for a startup. So even if you haven't generated revenue, you can apply to this one. And then another one is a $10,000 grant powered by Victoria's Secret. Okay. All right. Awesome. I really appreciate that. I needed to hear that. Awesome. Yeah, I understand. You need somebody that you can have a conversation with about business. And, somebody who I've had my company for 10 years, going on 11. I haven't worked a job in almost 11 years. So, and I travel the world. I'm not even in the United States. I've been living here in Africa for 1 year. So, I'm not new to this, friend. I'm true to this for real. All right. Black Ambition Prize is a very well-known grant company. It's actually founded by Pharrell. And what Pharrell does is he gives out multiple $100,000 grants to small business owners, specifically Black business owners. So I applied to this grant like a few months ago, and my client is one of those $100,000 finalists. So I'm going to show you here. I flipped my camera phone around, friends. So hold on. Let me make sure the camera is clean on the other side. Okay, hold on. All right, so let me show you guys. All right, so being quite confidential here, it says, congratulations. We're thrilled to share that you are selected as a 2025 Black Ambition Prize finalist. Okay, so they gave him a full caption. And yeah, 100K support for your growth. This is founded by Pharrell. Since 2020, he's been doing this. And all we have to do is our finalists, he picked 40 finalists, which is really cool. We're just going to do a 30-minute Zoom call. Okay. So that is your actual proof. I'm trying to make sure I don't show my clients, email and all that stuff, that information. But this is what it looks like when you win a grant. Congratulations. And it's 100K. Okay. Super cool. I'm really excited about that because this is one person, this is like his second grant that he's won with me. He's been with me since the beginning of this year. So that's really cool. All right. So I want to show you two grants really quick. So any questions that you guys have, definitely drop them in the chat because we're going to go through these grants really quick. And at the end, once this once this live stream is done downloading, then you guys will see in the description like the links to these two grants we're going to go over. Okay. All right. So this one is it's a pitch competition. It's by Hugh Capital. It's for the Hugh Capital Innovation Week. So we're going to read through it really quick. It says Hugh Capital Innovation Week is New York City's premier event series for builders, creators, and industry leaders shaping the future of business through AI. Across 5 evenings, we spotlight industries such as finance, media, tech, and healthcare, bringing together ambitious founders and innovators to co create AI solutions with the potential to redefine entire sectors. View the complete schedule of events here. You can click the hyperlink. We close the week with our pitch competition and after party. This is a live event where Shark Tank meets American Idol. Founders will pitch their startups in front of the judges in a live audience. Judges will provide critiques and the crowd will vote for the winner. $5,000 cash reward, a consultation with their venture capitalist sponsor, which is Visible Hands, a slot to on Seen as 50, which is a list honoring 50 overlooked founders in the New York NYC leading transformation tech startups. It's also in partnership with the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. So the pitch expectation during their it's a 3 to 5 minute pitch. Founders are expected to clearly communicate their vision, target audience, competitive advantage, and business model to demonstrate both the strength of their idea and its market potential. So the eligibility criteria: you must be a founder or co-founder of the startup. The business focus: you must pitch a tech company, so you have to be like a company that's using AI. Preference goes to the companies that have some type of AI functionality, open to industries such as media, finance, healthcare, beauty, consumer, and technology. Company stage, open to early stage founders with at least a functional MVP, so minimum value product. That means that you have something that has already started. And I'll explain this to you because I'm actually a founder of a new tech product right now that I have out. So I'll explain to you how this works. Geography: applicants must be based in the United States. The award must be applied towards the product development, marketing, operations, or other key area of growth. Applicants must have a registered business, LLC, C Corp, or whatever, based out of the United States. So the location for this pitch competition is going to be in New York City. Looks like Broadway. Friday, October 17th from 6 to 9 p.m. The application deadline date is October 3rd. All right, so just like 4 days away or a few days away. This event will be recorded in a show-style format, and all pitches will be featured on Hugh Capital's social media platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So that's really cool. So yeah, and it has more information. Now here's the actual application, just general information that they want: your LinkedIn profile, your company website. They want a brief description of your company. How does your product offering differ from your competitors? So who are your competitor and what makes you different? Describe one meaningful outcome or achievement of your business so far. So what have you achieved? What is your traction? That can be like, we have gained 10,000, or let's say not even 10,000, like 500 emails, right? We've grown our email list to 500 people. How do you plan to grow your company in the next 3 to 6 months? How does your company generate revenue? Have you received any prior funding? If yes, provide the details. How much income did your company generate in the last year in 2024? What will the $5,000 prize and VC consultation do for your business? So how would you use the 5K? Upload or share your links to any decks, one pagers, or additional materials about your business. This is where you will put the link to your pitch video. You must be available on October 17th, Friday, in person in New York City. So you can click yes if you'll be able to go there, or no. How did you find out about this? You can put other and put in YouTube. And if you choose community partner, past attendee, friend, or other, please specify who. So you can put, if you want to put me in there, you can put community, and then you can put Superior Shelby here, okay? Now, I want to talk to you a little bit more about this. I am a founder of a tech company. The tech company is faceless. It's faceless. The reason why I don't promote it or anything like that, because I want it to continue to be faceless. All right, so let's just say that. I'm not going to name the company or anything like that. Right now, I'm actually going for investors pitch. When I come back to the United States, which will be next month, towards the end of next month, I will be there for a few weeks, going on multiple, like a whole run, like an investor's pitch run. So I will be pitching, and I have experience in doing this stuff. So, but I want you guys to understand, for those of you who have an outstanding idea and you really want to grow your company to making, let's say, over $5 million to $10 million or more annually, be open to venture capital, be open to investments. You know what I mean? Cool. So a pitch competition is usually when you are in front of a panel of judges. Think of it like Shark Tank. And what you're doing is you're talking about your product and service and how it's needed in the market. You're also talking about what your traction is, how much revenue you already generate. If you are generating revenue, if you're not, then you're talking about the traction that you already have. And it really explaining the proof of how your product is a solution to the market. And then you're also explaining to them how much money that you are requesting and what you would do with that money, right? And how investors would actually be able to receive a return on their investment. You must be open to start thinking in this direction. Big companies like Apple, Google, and even Tesla, all right, they actually get investment capital. ChatGPT got I think almost a trillion dollars, but I know they definitely got billions of dollars from NVIDIA as an investment to be able to develop ChatGPT. And you see, they're always doing updates. Yeah, because they have the investment capital to be able to update. So I don't want you guys to sleep on that. Just be open to it. Think about how much stake you would give in your company. For me, it's no more than 8%. You guys, some of you might be 5%, 10%, whatever. And how much are you selling it for, right? That piece of your company. So yeah, this is big. This is real business. All right, so this is a $10,000 grant I want to go over. Announcing the Runway Revenue Accelerator program powered by Victoria's Secret. Runway Revenue Accelerator, this is an accelerator program, so you'll get money and also all of these extra things. So I'm going to read through it really quick. Oh, sorry, guys. Let me back it up a little bit. It says, transform your business with mentorship, funding, and growth opportunities designed specifically for your businesses. The program accepts businesses that are Black, Indigenous, person of color, and or women-owned businesses that show a dedicated commitment to the 15% Pledge's mission. Join our first of its kind 12-week virtual accelerator, where you will receive $10,000 in grant funding to grow your business, expert-led workshops on scaling operations and business strategy, access to networking opportunities and fellow entrepreneurs, and opportunity to pitch your brand for additional funding totaling up to $50,000. That's really cool. All right, so there says women founders receive 1.9% of all venture capital fund in 2022, with BIPOC women founders receiving less than 0.5%, but your potential shouldn't be limited by these systematic barriers. This accelerator program aims to provide the capital, connections, and confidence you need to beat the odds and scale your business. The virtual program will pretty much be in a pitch competition at a Victoria's Secret & Co. headquarters in Columbus, Ohio. I didn't even know they were like their hair. I thought the headquarters was in New York for some reason. It says where selected founders will compete for additional grant funding to up to $50,000 to fuel their next phase of growth. So you have $10K in grant funding that you can get, but you can also get an extra additional $50K. So that's up to $60,000 that you can get. So here's what they're looking for. They're looking for leading innovative growth stage businesses, ready to scale their operations, committed to building sustainable, impactful companies, eager to join a community of like-minded founders. All right. So just because it is a $60,000 grant opportunity that is provided by Victoria's Secret, that does not mean that you have to be in that type of line of business. All right. So to reassure yourself, you must be a member of the 15% Pledge Business Equity Community. It's really easy. All you have to do is come up here and click on Join Our Community. It's free. Then you'll have access to simply apply. Your business must have an annual revenue of at least $100,000 and no more than 1.5 million. So you do have to be generating revenue of at least 100K a year. At least one self-identifying person with 51% or more equity in the company, identified as Black, Indigenous, person of color, or a woman, must be operational for at least 1 year. Business must sell, here we go, intimate apparel, accessories, activewear, sportwear, shapewear, or hosiery products. So you do have to sell these type of products. So it's pretty much being in the same line of business as Victoria's Secret. And business must be available to participate in the 12-week accelerated program outlined below. Business must be willing to travel and attend to the in-person pitch competition in Columbus, Ohio at the close of the program. Business must be United States based. So for those of you who sell gym clothes and gym wear, this is perfect. So this is how they select you. Business has high potential for growth to indicated by strong sales over time. Business has a sustainable competitive advantage. Business is led by a strong management team with deep industry knowledge. Business has strong use case for the award to manage growth challenges and scale for the future. Business fosters inclusivity and showcases community. All right, so you have by October 3rd. You have by October 3rd. The accelerator program starts from January to April, and the pitch competition is in April. If you get approved, you still get the $10,000 plus this mentorship. Excuse me. Okay, so that's how that works. I went over, let's say, a total of like $65,000 worth of grants that you can go for. So I think this is really good. I told you earlier in this live stream exactly what a grant is, how to search and apply to grants, and all that good stuff. And also what you need to have. You need to have a business plan, a pitch deck, and a three-minute pitch video. You can always book a one-on-one consultation with me. It's $50. And for the $50, I'll sit on a 45-minute Zoom call with you. I'll search for grants with you, and I'll give you a full game plan. We'll also develop an execution strategy if you want to. If you are a nonprofit or for-profit, doesn't matter. I will help you search and apply to grants. The $50, no, I'm not going to submit a grant application, but I'm going to show you everything. And we'll have a one-on-one strategy call. So I would love for you to be able to book with me. You can text #grants to my number, which is 855-731-1487. Or you can visit my website, superchargemybusiness.com. The link is in the description. And yeah, do I have any like additional questions before I let you guys go? Tamala says, I have the mayor office, Black Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development Department, and city council officials in my corner for my nonprofit organization on my past contributions to the city. This is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Yeah, that's how you do it. Okay, so any last minute questions before I let you guys go for the night? It's just been such a pleasure with having you here with me. I really do appreciate you sharing your time with me. And of course, I'll be back on here tomorrow. So we're going to pick up where we left off tomorrow. This is the fourth quarter. Usually from October until December, I'm doing these 2 live streams a day. So you do have that ability to catch me on a live stream, either 9 a.m. Eastern time or 5 p.m. Eastern time, okay? Okay. So some of you guys are texting me now, so I'm responding to your text messages. Okay. All right, so I really do appreciate you guys sharing your time with me. I'm going to be back on here at 9 a.m. Eastern time, so join me tomorrow, 9 a.m. in the morning, if you can. If not, then 5 p.m. is cool, and we'll just keep things going, okay? Yeah, I love you guys. Thanks so much for joining me this night, and enjoy the rest of your night, okay?